Hey guys, my name is Batimio, and today we're going to be going over the Pointman class in Medal of Honor Warfighter. This has quickly become one of my favorite classes in the game. I'll go into more detail as to why. But basically, for today's video, I'm going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of the Pointman and why you might want to play it. So the Pointman class gets access to the assault rifles much like the assaulter class, but the main difference that I find between the two is that the Pointman's weapons have a lot more agility on them. And what this means for you is that you're going to be a lot more mobile, you're going to be able to aim down sight a lot faster, and overall you're just going to be able to move around the map a lot faster than the assaulter class. The one downside though is that the weapons don't really have as much range, so you're not going to be able to take people out at long distance like you could with the other assault weapons for the assault class or the assaulter class, but you will be able to hit like a truck at medium to close range, and you're also quite accurate at those distances as well. For today's video, you're going to notice that I am using the AK-103, which has quickly become my favorite weapon in the game. It's extremely powerful. You're going to just knock people out. One of the things I found in the Medal of Honor Warfighter is that taking out consecutive targets can be pretty difficult. Just trying to chain kills back to back to back with one magazine size is a challenge. But I found that with the AK and with a lot of the Pointman class's weapons, you can do that a lot easier than most other classes out there. And that's probably one of the nicest things about this class, is just the killing potential of its primary weapons. On top of that, the Pointman also has an ability which allows them to use high-powered ammunition, and the way it works is that every time you spawn, you get one magazine size of this special ammo, and once you place it into your primary weapon, it's going to dramatically increase your damage, but also on the flip side, increase your recoil. I find that I don't really use it all that often, mainly because I think that the recoil is just so much worse, and it's just so much more significant that the increased damage just isn't worth it. But there are some people out there that are able to manage the recoil, and they just destroy the enemy team. But all in all, the developers have clearly made the Pointman your go-to class if you want to do a lot of damage up close and at medium range, and if you just want to really rely on your primary weapon to do the job for you. So now you might be thinking to yourself, hey, why would I want to use any other class than the Pointman? They sound like their weapons are amazing, they have a lot of mobility, they do great damage at medium to close range. Why would I want to select another class? Well, that's all true. The Pointman's weapons at those distances are fantastic, but as I mentioned, they're not really good at long range. So if you get caught into situations where you're bogged down in long corridors for an extended period amount of time, you might want to switch to something like the sniper class or the assaulter, which weapons do a lot better in those situations. Really, the only way you're going to be able to do well with this class is if you're able to move around the map efficiently and you can use the mobility to your advantage. So if you're not able to get into those engagements and you're getting bogged down, like I said, in long corridors, then this class definitely suffers. Not only that, but I find that the offensive support actions, or kill streaks, really whatever you want to call them, are kind of lacking on this class. Probably the best one is the UAV or the Raven, which is the first unlock, so I guess that's a nice thing because it's the first one. But all the other offensive support actions I find to be pretty lacking, especially the Little Bird. I've unlocked that on numerous occasions, and I've probably only gotten 1 to 2 kills with it. It's very underwhelming. Maybe it's just because I don't know how to use it correctly right now. I don't really think that's the case. I just don't think it's a very useful ability. So I find that every time I unlock the ones, the second tier or the third tier, I just use the defensive ability. I just find them to be much more useful. The class also only has access to flashbangs, and while flashbangs are very useful in some situations, they're definitely not the normal grenades which a lot of the other classes have access to. If you've played Medal of Honor Warfighter for more than a couple hours, you'll know, and you've probably gotten killed by grenades on numerous occasions. They are extremely potent and powerful in this game, and to not have access to them, while a little disappointing, I can see why they didn't give it to this class. I mean, your primary weapon is the way that you're going to get kills with this thing, and I think if you did have access to the grenades for Pointman, it would truly make it overpowered. So, you know, while you don't get access to them, the flashbangs, while you could consider that it to be kind of a negative aspect of it, if they did have access to it, it would be way over the top. But overall, the Pointman is an extremely effective class on the battlefield. Its weapons do a lot of damage up close and at medium range. It kind of lacks at long range engagements, but if you can use its high mobility to your advantage and get up close and personal and flank your enemies, you are going to destroy the enemy team. But yeah, guys, that's my overview of the Pointman class. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, or just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it if you give my videos a rating, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and take it easy.